This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Radar, and I'm so thrilled to be speaking with Lisa Ann Walter about Abbott Elementary. How are you, Lisa?
I'm doing great, Abe. Thank you for having me.
Of course, this feels like it has to be a really fun show to be a part of.
It's seriously, it is, first of all, a blessing. It's incredible to be a part of a show I'm proud of. And I can tell people, no, really, it's good. You should watch it. It's really very funny. So all of that is fantastic because we've all done projects that we've not felt as good about. And although I've had a lot of great things over the years, but we just have a great time with each other. We laugh all the time. We watch each other's work. Being in the scenes is so much fun. And then, then we get to see the finished product, and it's pretty funny and sometimes moving. You laugh and you
Sure.
cry. What could be better?
Do you like the serious moments? Is that an enjoyable part of this?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Okay. I'm that my producers are really great in that they are very effusive in their praise of me doing the laughter into tears or the other way around kind of moments, and kind of my wheelhouse. It's sort of what I've been doing throughout my career. So to get to do it in this half-hour network show is just, it's fabulous. Couldn't ask for anything better, really. I'd have to pinch myself every day.
How much are you like Melissa?
Well, I mean, well, I'm not this girl. I don't have the accent or anything. That's acting. But I am Sicilian. So a fun part about it is that I get to, throw in little Sicilian phrases and bad words sometimes. I let them catch it whether it's a bad word or not. They don't always know. I think they were on to me though, because I said something and they said, no, you say, I don't think you can say that. And I'm like, oh, because the one last week, I try to slide some past them, but nobody will know. And I use my cousins' real names, like my real cousins, my Sicilian cousins. I put them in the show all the time. So that's real. My mother was a teacher. I've never been a teacher. I think I'd be good at it. And I think I'm a kind of a truth teller. I always was at my stand-up. I think I am in real life. I tend to hide vulnerability with being funny or being tough or even angry. If I'm scared or hurt, I'll transfer that in anger, and I think that's Melissa. Certainly a part that they make hopefully bigger than what Lisa does. I don't often go around threatening people's lives or punching things. Occasionally, I mean, I am in Los Angeles traffic, so but not as much as Melissa. She's South Philly. That's a down girl right there. Yeah, some
They're
good
the
stuff. I mean,
same.
best girlfriends like she has with Barbara. I mean, Cheryl is one of my best friends now. So I mean, that part, that's that's a great, fun, truthful part of it. And yeah, I got some similarities.
I do like that relationship that she has with Barbara, but I also there was that episode with Jacob where he just desperately wanted to, be a part of it. And I feel bad very often for both Jacob and Janine, but knowing that Quinta, is in charge of the show makes me feel a little better because at least, she's responsible for some of that, writing.
Writing her
But
own stuff, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that there's a different dynamic on set, but what is it like to have those two characters who sort of just get relentlessly mocked by everyone
Roasted,
else?
just roasted like constantly. I think we take turns there. It's funny because we all kind of know what the rules are on who gets to tee off on who. And Janelle is funny sometimes because we'll have a director come in and they'll make somebody who hasn't been with us, like not Randall, but a new person. And she'll be like, yeah, why don't you grab that from Ava? And and Janelle's like, yeah, Melissa doesn't try to clown Ava. That doesn't happen. She does everybody else, but she doesn't clown Ava. And I'm like, no, she's right. It's true. Like game recognizes game. Like we don't take each other on. Although I'd love to see that. I really, there's gentle ribbing, like under her breath and looks to camera. Melissa does it, but really not so much to Ava's face. Yeah. So I don't feel. When I feel bad for Quinta is when she writes herself stuff that I know she's actually afraid of, like climbing ladders. She's terrified of heights. She put me in stuff that, like, they have me climb a ladder on a fire truck. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Come on. mean, it was a little hard to do after like the 30th time. I'm like, okay, we're good now with the ladder. But she's terrified of heights, and she has herself going up ladders regularly. Like, why are you doing that? You know, you wrote this. You didn't have to make yourself do that. But I think she enjoys taking the challenge on. And
You did enjoy that.
Chris is so good at understanding that, you know, there were a couple of things that I had to do with him. And I think being the other white person on the show, they were comfortable with me being, you know, kind of mean to him. And I felt terrible because he's adorable. He comes to my house and eats Italian food all the time. I love him. But, you know, it was funny for the show.
I just had the chance to speak with him. He seems pretty okay with how, you know, how Jacob is perceived. He doesn't feel bad for him. He thinks he's doing okay, which is
He has
good.
a real good balance of dorkiness and, you know, wanting to be liked. And then you see all of that in the nuance and how he plays the character. And it's just beautiful work. Everybody on the show does beautiful work. I'm like blown away consistently when I see the end result in the edit. Just stuff I didn't even see them doing. And, you know, I'll text them and, Tyler, you killed that. It was just, we're constantly, I think, surprising each other, which is a great place to be in.
Most recent episode that I watched, you're actually doing some stuff with Tyler, which is not all that common. You know, when you have to present that award that is very clearly a, you know, signal of diversity. That was a very entertaining episode, but also one I think that touched on what you said before in terms of just sort of pivoting to serious, and when she really says something that makes him get choked up, which is really nice.
Yeah, and really great to play, especially since I haven't had the opportunity to play like that with Tyler yet. So getting to do that with him, with his character was a lot of fun, and it was just great work. We really enjoyed working with each other. Hope we get to do it again. Yeah, and it was fun and interesting timing of saying to him, you don't get to choose when people acknowledge you, which kind of when we were smack dab in the middle of all the awards going out. It was really meta. Yeah.
Well, one of the things Chris said, he talked about how wonderful all the young actors on the show are. What is it like working with these kids?
Well, you know, I have 4 of my own. I live in a shoe. My hoo-ha's a clown car. So I'm used to being around a lot of kids, and they're really well behaved. I mean, there was one scene that we played where Melissa is teaching 2 classes where they had to be talking a lot. And they're so good that when they hear cameras up, they mouth closed. So I was like, we're not going to get them to talk, because then if you tell them to talk, they just scream like nonsensically, like not even words. They don't really understand yet how to, you know, realistically ad lib at the level they're supposed to. They're great, but that's pretty nuanced background work. So I was like, okay, don't say cameras up, rolling, action, none of that. Just when the second AD leaves my classroom, the scene starts. And so they did it that way. And they were just talking at a normal level, misbehaving normally like kids do. And then we did the scene like that. They caught on to it after about the 5th time though. And then they were quiet again. But I told them, I said, you get to be rude today. You don't have to pay attention. You could just talk. And they're really great. And they're really talented. They're very interested in what's going on in the process. I have one kid in my class, Preston, that on the Halloween episode when I dressed like Scarlet Witch, we're sitting there and he had just gone from, they did a joke, which I don't know how many people got it, but one kid was pizza and one kid was a rat. And the rat was trying to drag the pizza away, like Pizza Rat. And I mean, I'm sure in the writer's room, they cracked up. I'm like, nobody's going to figure this out. But it was still funny. And the kids had a good time doing it. But the one playing the rat, Preston, was like, looks me up and down as Scarlet Witch and goes, what's it like being one of the most conflicted anti-heroes in the Marvel metaverse? I'm like, how old are you? 10 years old. I said, everybody, this is Preston, and say hi to him, pay attention to him. You're all going to work for him someday. Either that, he's going to be president. I mean, they're smart kids. They're great.
It's good to
Love it.
hear. I also enjoy when we, dip a little bit into Melissa's personal life, whether it's with her family or her romance, vending machine romance. Is
Yes.
that something that you think we'll see more of in the future?
I hope so. I have a really good time with that stuff, especially I love the family stuff because, obviously her family is all various levels of shady. And that part I can't talk about in terms of my life because there's Omerta. But I like the idea of seeing the people in her family that aren't necessarily the connected ones, but just like the big grandmas and the sketchy cousins and the other sister that we haven't met yet that's like, I don't know, maybe she's like a super Christian. Who knows? You just want to meet people from these characters' lives and see how what created these people. So I hope so. And obviously with Gary, the vending machine guy, we had a fun time in the Valentine's episode. They had me being the one doing the super kiss first. I don't know if our audience was mad or not, but Bruno and I had a good time playing it.
Have you found that, audiences respond very well to Melissa? Do you have friends or family who have told
Oh my
you
gosh,
things about your
yes.
character?
Oh God, it's so good. I mean, first of all, that the people from South Philly like her, I'm I'm very complimented because they're appreciating all this, and that's not me. That's acting. But they feel like it's represents them well. And so that's very meaningful because if they didn't feel that way, they would let me know. But when I hear from them, I thought she was from South Philly. I feel great. I feel great about the job I'm doing, that I'm representing them well, and that I'm a sports fanatic like I should be. And I changed team allegiances. I'm from DC. I couldn't tell them that. I can't. Well, what the hell's our team name at this point? They should change it back to Washington. I liked Washington. They should change the owner is what they should change. But anyway, they really believed I was an Eagles fan throughout the season, so I was happy about that. Yeah, so I get constantly, not from teachers, all of us hear wonderful things from teachers, but there are a lot of people that are very effusive. You're our favorite character, and I love how you are with. They love Barbara and Melissa together and call us work wives, which I think is fantastic. And yeah, people are really digging Melissa. She's kind of a badass.
Is there anything you'd really like to see for her or from her in season three?
I think we've all learned not to second guess Quinta, who I truly believe when she went in to pitch the show for the first time, probably had season 8 in mind. I think she went through season. I said that to her once, and she was like, "Yeah, that's about right. About season 8." So I think she knows where everybody is going, and I'd love to do scenes with characters that I haven't really got to work with as much. So, maybe some more with Tyler, some stuff with Ava, because I mean, it's a lot of alpha women in this show. And the two of them together, I think might be a lot of fun. So we'll see what they come up with. We have the best writing staff in TV, I think. And there's some other shows I really like too, but ours are pretty dang good.
What are some of your other shows that you really enjoy?
I like Shrinking. That was the last one that I watched, like beginning to end, I think in 2 days. I love that. I like Ted Lasso. I really enjoy. I loved Severance. Succession. Don't tell me anything. I didn't watch it because I'm like, I'm gonna wait till the end so I can watch all of them so I can binge it. And then I open Twitter and I'm like,
Very dangerous, yeah, these
I
days.
love The Great. I love The Great. Love that show. I actually saw um Dakota L Fanning.
Oh, oh,
I saw Elle when she was with her sister, when she was with Dakota, when I did War of the Worlds with her. And it was so cold where we were shooting that we were all in this like hotel, like sitting on the floor in front of a space heater playing gin rummy. And Dakota beat me. And I wasn't trying to lose. Listen, I have kids. I know when you're like, let them feel good about it. I wasn't doing that. She legit beat me because her mother's a teacher and really, really smart and taught both of those girls, homeschooled them. So I was reminding Elle of that when I met her. My God, she's tall. And I was like, I met you when you were just little, and I want to tell you this because it's the facts. I am magic for young actresses. If you do something, a project with me, huge star. Huge star. Just think about it. How many have done their shows with me and then blow up? So all the little kids on Abbott, get ready,
Especially Preston.
especially he's not gonna be an actor. He's gonna run a studio.
That's,
Yeah.
well, that's great. Well, thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you, and thank you for taking a few minutes to talk with me today.
You're so welcome, Abe. It was my pleasure. Thank you.